Hello, everyone! Welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 345. Andrew here, you're there. All is as it should be. So, hey, Chicago. Let's talk briefly about Castlevania Nocturne. I haven't watched any of it yet. And so ends our very brief and spoiler-free discussion of Castlevania Nocturne. I liked the 4 seasons of episodes they did a couple of years ago. I thought they were aces, so excited to see more. Trailer looked cool. I like the remix of the music. Bloodlines or something. So, looking forward to watching it. Just haven't got around to it yet because I've been busy with stuff. Working on the Extra Life charity event stuff. Working on the Gem and the Holograms comic reviews. Got another episode of Movie Mandates going out this week. Had to edit that. Actually recorded a new episode with my sister on Thursday. So, I'm trying to get my new COVID shot, but apparently they were supposed to come available on the 28th. So I went on the Kaiser Permanente site, and apparently, of the, I think, 16 locations within a 30-some mile radius of my house, there are absolutely 0 open appointments. Seems odd. On the other hand, maybe it's like, hey, San Diego, good job. Get yourselves vaccinated. Or maybe their site is, the scheduling system is screwed up, but I'm like, really? Nowhere? I mean, I can't even drive out to El Cajon or Chula Vista or up to Carlsbad or Escondido. There are apparently no open appointments at any facility, anywhere, ever. It's like, do I have to drive up to Sacramento or something? What in the biscuits? Crow Demon says, all I know is it covers Richter. Castlevania, yeah. Still upset at how bad the show butchered Hector, because that's my favorite Castlevania character. Oh, and the last one, I don't follow the lore of Castlevania too terribly closely. I'm old, so, I started with the very early Castlevania games, and then by Symphony of the Night, they switched over to PlayStation, which I didn't have, so I missed out on most of the later games where a lot of the more well-known lore was introduced. So, however Hector or any of the other characters changed in the Netflix cartoon from a couple years back, I don't know what the changes are, so I don't know. Had I been familiar with the character from the games, I don't know if I would have been like, no, that's an interesting change, or if I would have been like, sacrilege! What have you done? No! But, yeah, looking forward to seeing Nocturne. Let's see. What are we talking about? Oh, let's talk about UPS. I may not have seen Castlevania Nocturne yet, but I can talk about UPS. 'Cause UPS and I had words this week, I'll have you know. So I bought something online. Crow Demon says he was Hector, a good protagonist in the series, but people didn't like him as much because he wasn't a Belmont. Yeah, I can see that from fans. It's like, Simon Belmont or nothing. Well, this is Richter Belmont. Okay, as long as he's a Belmont. Here's Hector. Well, that's too far. So yeah. So UPS, I bought a thing online. And the online dealer sent it via UPS. Okay. I was supposed to get it last Tuesday, I think. Or the Tuesday before last, actually. I was supposed to get it on a Tuesday. it got delayed until Friday. Which was kind of annoying because the retailer I bought it from is local to San Diego, where I live, and they were shipping it from Oklahoma for some reason. And I'm like, why are you I could just go get it today. I mean, you know. And then it got delayed till Saturday. And then it got delayed till Monday. So Monday rolls around, and I work from home, so I'm sitting over there working. Keeping an eye out, or an ear out for the door. Keeping, I have one tab open to the UPS tracker, and, just giving it a check every once in a while to, see where my stuff is. And to be clear, what I ordered was not important. It's a toy. It's entertainment. I don't need it. It's not like medication that I need to live, right? It's not important. It's not life-threatening. It's just a toy. Okay? So I'm waiting for my toy. And at 5:02 p.m., the tracker updates to attempted delivery, but recipient was unavailable. I immediately got up, ran outside, no one out there, went across the street to where, I live in an apartment, so went across the street to where the mailboxes are, right next to the leasing office, to see if I could spot the UPS truck, see if they were over there. Not over there. Opened my mail cubby, there was no little, sorry we missed you sticker or a little sheet of paper. Wasn't on my door either. Turned around, looked at the leasing office. Bob was in there. The door was open. Hi, Bob. So I went back to my apartment, and I called UPS. And I said, what the biscuits? And they said, oh, well, must have missed you. I said, no, didn't even stop by. Don't give me this, the thing says that the recipient was unavailable and we couldn't deliver. I said, well, that's not true. I work from home. I was here. So, contact your driver, tell him to turn around and bring me my stuff. And I said, absolutely, sir. We deliver until 9 o'clock tonight, so next 4 hours. So we'll get that delivered today, and is this your right number? Yes, it is. We'll call you within the hour to let you know how it's going. Great. 7:30 rolls around. Haven't heard from UPS. So I call them again. And every time I call them, I have to work my way through their automated voice recognition system, which doesn't recognize my voice very well. And I'm an angry person with a really nasty temper. One of the things that sets me off is when a voice recognition system doesn't recognize my voice. Right? It's like, are you calling from a cell phone? Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't Yeah! You start yelling at the damn thing. Just trying to get an actual person on the line is, an ordeal, an aggravating one, particularly when you throw nasty little temper tantrums like me. So I finally get someone on the phone again. I'm like, WTF, UPS? What is this BS? You said you'd call me back. You did not. And driver still hasn't shown up with my stuff. And they're like, oh, well, we're still looking into it, and we've escalated the issue, and we'll give you a call back in the next hour. Okay. 9 o'clock rolls around. Still no delivery. Call UPS back. Fight to get through the... Actually, the voice recognition system hung up on me. Or the call disconnected for whatever reason, but... So I called back, finally got to a person. You know, I start out saying, you know, operator. It's like... And the recorded voice in a very condescending, to my ears, tone says, "We know you'd like to talk to a real person, but I'm afraid we just can't do that, Dave." You know, they can't help you until you've spoken to me, and you tell me the tracking number. I'm like, I would love to tell you the tracking number, but you don't seem to understand the words I speak to you. I don't feel my enunciation is that poor. I tried using the touch tone, the keypad on my phone to type in the number, and it still got it wrong. Arg. So I finally get to a person, and I let them know, person, you're just a phone jockey at UPS. I understand that none of what I'm complaining about is your fault. You didn't do it. None of this is on you. Unfortunately, you're who I'm talking to. And right now, you represent a company I am livid with. So, I hope you'll excuse my tone of voice, my frustration, and any profanity that might slip past my lips. And I said twice now, y'all have said you'd call me back within the hour. Y'all didn't. I don't appreciate that. Twice now you said, after lying to me about trying to deliver the package in the first place, you said you'd get that driver to turn around and deliver my package. Never did. It's not on my porch. No one knocked on my door. It's not in the mail cubby. It's not in the parcel locker. It's not in the leasing office. You just, for whatever reasons, good or bad, chose not to deliver my package. Of course, the phone jockey couldn't do anything. It was after 9 o'clock, so they weren't delivering anymore. But he said, we'll make sure we deliver it tomorrow, and we'll definitely call you tomorrow morning. Okay. So I posted about the Chaos and Jared, hello. So I posted about this on Twitter, and of course UPS Twitter says, well, golly, that's not the service we strive for. I should hope not. And they DM'd me, and they said, well, the driver says that he tried to drop off the package, but the recipient was unavailable. And I says, yeah, I know the driver said that. The driver is lying. I don't know why. Maybe, as Brian, one of our regulars, pointed out, it's due to abusive UPS policy. Maybe the drivers are so overworked that sometimes they just skip deliveries and lie that the recipient was unavailable in order to meet their quota so they don't get fired. Well, that sucks. In which case, kindly pick up my ire and place it where it belongs. So I spoke to UPS and I said, okay, what should I expect? I live in an apartment in a gated community. Does UPS... So, a couple of questions. When UPS delivers a package, what do? Do they have a key to the gate? I know FedEx does. I know USPS does. Well, actually, USPS doesn't. They have keys to the mail cubbies. They drop mail over there. They don't come to the front door. I know Amazon does. Does UPS? Like, can UPS actually get past the gate and to my front door? If they do, and I'm taking a poop, are they just going to leave it on the porch, or are they going to not leave it? I mean, it's a toy. Again, it's not something important. It doesn't need to be signed for. Just leave it on the porch. My door is under a flight of stairs. It's in an enclosed breezeway. You don't... And it's a gated community. Pretty safe sitting there on the porch. If someone walks off with it, not a lot of people it could be. So if they can't get in the gated community, do they have keys to the mailboxes? Will they leave it with the leasing office? And they said, we don't know. You're UPS. You don't know what UPS does? I'm very frustrated. And I'm going to 7-Eleven and I'm buying a pint of ice cream and a soda. And so I did. Mint chocolate chip ice cream, not soda. I bet it was a cream soda, I think. Yeah, I bought a cream soda and mint chocolate chip ice cream. And it was good. So, So tomorrow, the next day, Tuesday morning rolls around, and around 8:30, I actually get a call from UPS. And they say, we're going to try to deliver it today. And I spoke to the person on the phone, and I said, you're going to try, could you just deliver it today? I'm going to be here all day. And she says, if you're not there, is it okay if we leave? I'm like, yes, it's fine. But I will be here. All you have to do is decide, choose to do your job and deliver the package, which you should have done yesterday. But didn't. For some reason, maybe a good one, but I don't know what that good I don't know what that reason is. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be stupid. I don't know what the reason is because you lied to me. So, about 11:30, UPS guy knocks on my door. I open the door. So I'm sitting over there. Let's. All right, little tour. There's where I work. That's my front door. Not very far from where I work. It's just right there. That's the front door. So, I'm sitting over there. Knockety knock, knock, knock. Oh, goody. I stand up, turn around, walk to the door, open it up, and there's no one there. I stick my head out, and there he goes. Knocked and just set it on the ground, I'm sure very gently and politely, and just walked away. Oh, well, okay, I guess UPS really doesn't have a problem just leaving the package on the porch in front of my door. Huh. How about that? It's not the delay. Delays are frustrating. I'm selfish. I want my stuff. Gosh darn it. And I want it now. And if you tell me, Andrew, your stuff is delayed. You ain't getting it today. We'll bring it to you tomorrow. Well, I'll cross my arms and I'll harumph. But it's fine. It's okay. I can deal with a delay. I don't need my toy today. I'd prefer having it today, all things considered. But, I can put up with a delay. They suck, they're frustrating, sure, but they happen. You know? So it's not the fact that my delivery was delayed Friday to Saturday, say 3 times. Well, 4 times if you count the non-delivery. It's not the delay, it's the dishonesty. It's the fact that they lied to me. And it's not just that they lied to me. They lied to me in a way that makes it my fault. They chose not to deliver my package and put that on me. They chose not to deliver my package and says, we're not delivering your package today because of you. You see, Andrew, it's your fault that you didn't get your toy today. That's on you, buddy. Shame. Well, that just frosts my cookies. I mean, seriously, UPS could have just said, "Hey, we have so many people to deliver to today that we just couldn't get to you, but we'll bring it to you early in the morning." Frustrating? Would I, huff and puff and kick and stuff? Sure. But, I'd be like, oh, well, that sucks, but, okay, see you tomorrow. Or they could have just made up a lie. Something that I definitely... If you lie about where I am, I'm going to know because I'm where I am. I know where I am. You can't lie about where I am. I know where I am. I'm going to figure out you're lying. So they should have, if they were going to lie, they should have said, "Hey, our driver ran out of gas, or got a flat tire, or in a fender bender, or the engine fell out of the truck. So we can't get your package to you today. We'll get it to you tomorrow." Oh. Bummer. Okay. And even if they're outright lying about that, I don't know. Even if I suspect that that's horse poop, there's little I could do to investigate. I'm certainly not putting in the effort to investigate that myself. I don't care that much. But seriously, a lot of people work from home now. And this was actually 5:02 in the afternoon. What are the odds that 1, the recipient does not work from home, and 2, is not home at 5:02? Not impossible, certainly, but not the greatest. That's a dumb lie. It's an insulting lie. And it blames me. And I don't like it. But I got my toy. And UPS is a stupid doo-doo head. Harumph. So, let's see. Crow says, UPS always annoying with shipments. I really wish you could choose shipment companies when ordering off of Amazon or eBay. Yeah, I'm thinking, I'm never going to buy from a retailer that uses you, but, I just pick the shipping. It doesn't, I have no control over what service they use, so, Crow says I'd probably pick FedEx or Amazon shipping because I've had kind of never had a bad run with them. This happened today? No, this was this past week. So this was, I think, Monday and Tuesday of this past week. Crow says you're very articulate. There's nothing wrong with your enunciation. It's UPS is stupid. It might be the vocal range of my voice. It might just be pitched low. The slow cycles of my voice might be difficult for the system to pick up. Here's a fun story. Back in the day, I worked in quality assurance for an inventory company, and this company built all its own proprietary hardware and such. And so our business was going into retail. It was sending crews of people into retail stores with big calculator things and scanners, calculators that strapped to their thigh with a scanner, and they'd go scan all the products and count whatever's in the store, so stores knew what they had on hand, right? So we were building we had the calculator had a vibration mechanic in it for the hard of hearing, so it would buzz every time you click something instead of beep, if the beep didn't do you any good. And we were also working on some other things like a voice recognition. So you could, instead of trying to type the quantity of whatever you're counting, you would say the number. So you would scan something, you'd say 5. You'd scan something, you'd say 12 or 36 or 2. And I was testing that system. And I was very frustrated with it because I couldn't get it to work. How it worked is you'd say a number and it would repeat back to you, and you would check if it was repeating back the correct number or not. So I'd say 2, 5, 2, 10, 2, 7, 2! And I'm sitting there yelling at this thing, and the funniest thing is, I don't know who it was, but one of the engineers got his daughter to record the voice for the system. So it was like, so I was yelling at the voice of some 4-year-old girl going, 4, 2, 7, 2! They still talk about that. 13 years of Cafe Fox. Hello. Says 13 years using UPS. I've only ever had 1 or 2 issues. I'm glad to hear it. And again, I want to be clear. Delays happen. Stuff happens. Stuff gets lost. You know, we came to your house and we lost the package. It slipped between the seats. We found it. We'll bring it to you tomorrow. Yeah, you know, fine. It's fine. Just don't lie to me. Or, again, if you're going to lie to me, lie about... Don't make it my fault. Don't lie... Well, you weren't here. Yes, I was. Don't... Just say you ran out of gas, for crying out loud. Crow says, that's insane. If that were the case, though, then they wouldn't make them susceptible to being fired still. It might. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that driver. You know? I hope it's not a case of the driver is just, you know... struggling schmo, trying to make ends meet, you know, skipping a delivery to try to get their deliveries done at times. And I hope I didn't get anyone fired. Just don't lie just don't lie. It's aggravating, and I have a bad temper, so please don't aggravate me, or at least just don't make it my fault if you're gonna lie. Tell me your truck caught fire or something, or maybe not that one, but you know flat tire, too many deliveries. Someone stole your cat. I don't know. Mint chocolate soda actually sounds like it would be pretty badass. I'd try it. Crow, I do try to keep my language in check. You know, generally speaking, if I swear, it's usually on purpose for a particular effect, usually attemptedly comedic. So, you know, certainly no slurs. You know, don't be gross, but, you know, hells, dams, asses, stuff, that's all fine. But, you know, if you're going to use an F-bomb, maybe make sure you have a really good reason to. You know, I'm not going to ban you for an F-bomb or anything, but, you know, just keep it nice. kind of playing it by ear. I don't really have hard and fast rules. YouTube chatbot seems to really not like profanity, and really doesn't like some of my audience, like Lou. Oh man, she can say innocuous words like monster, and YouTube just throws away her entire comment. I don't know what's going on there. Chaos says, my neighbor's out of town. He has packages just piling up by his front door. Yeah. You know, it's not uncommon that I have a package out by my front door that's not mine. You know, it's just one of the other apartments, so I pick it up and I drop it off in front of someone else's apartment. I have never had anyone bring me my mail, say, hey, or maybe they leave it in front of my door. Maybe they have, and they just aren't, like, knocking and handing it to me. But that happens with alarming frequency. It's like, this is not the right number. I've had it be like not the. So usually it's the right building, just the wrong number. Like someone will mistake a 1 for an 11 or something like that, right? But sometime it's like, oh, this isn't even the right building. It's across the street. Crow says, my package is going to be delayed, fine. Just tell me why and compensate me if I paid extra to have it earlier. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you paid for, like, overnight shipping or something, then yeah, absolutely. I did not. It was just, I bought it. It said Tuesday or whatever, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, fine. And then it said Friday. I'm like, okay. And then it said Saturday. I'm like, and then Monday, it's like, oh, come on. It's like you're driving from Oklahoma. I could get there and back quicker. And again, why are you shipping it from Oklahoma? You know, this is something I bought from Best Buy. Just shouldn't you be shipping it from San Diego to Best Buy right down there in Fashion Valley? Is it Fashion Valley or Mission Valley? It's Fashion Valley. I only bought it because I didn't feel like getting up off my ass and going myself. It's not so. Next time I was like, I should just cancel the damn order, and the next time I go down to Trader Joe's, just stop by Best Buy and pick it up while I'm down there. That's what I get for being lazy. Crow says, I work for a grocery store, but when I'm not at work, I'm usually at home. So I'm going to know if they came by, because not only can I see my driveway through a camera, but I'm also just not always there. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah. A lot of people have doorway or doorbell cameras. Like, I have a friend who, she whenever we're not near her house, she has a little alert on her phone that's triggered by a motion sensor. So she looks at her phone and she's watching a live feed of her front door. And that records. So a lot of people have that. You can't lie about coming to someone's house because they probably are there or have something like that. So yeah, not the slickest choice by UPS. Crow says, despite being low, voice, you sound normal to me. I'm friends with the guy whose voice is kind of deep, so I'm used to it. Hey, Lindy. I made sure to use your watermarked art on my Extra Life donation page this time. I was listening. Crow says, got it, careful when I type. It's only when I talk when I swear a lot. Yeah, I was pacing and ranting because I was very angry. And that's one of the things that I do to blow off steam so I don't, put a fist through a wall or something like that, is I'll just pace back and forth and rant to myself. And yeah, it can get pretty profane. I have a filthy, dirty, potty mouth. Particularly when I'm angry. So, but, when I'm on stream, I do try to keep the profanity in check. When I did, earlier in my YouTube career, when I did more scripted videos, I probably dropped maybe 3 F-bombs in total, and those were all specific choices for whatever video that was in. Of course, on live streams, it's something I have to decide on the fly, and sometimes I'll make a choice and drop an F-bomb, and then I'll think about it and go, yeah, probably could have done without the F-bomb, but, you know. Let's see. Yeah, Crow says, "What I hit my chair arm." Yeah. It doesn't break, so it's good for physical abuse. That's what heavy metal is for, says Chaos. Yeah, I did a Andy Kaufman-esque joke, I guess. One of those performance art pieces where you're not sure if what you're watching is real. The chair I had before this one broke, and the arm actually fell off, and it ticked me off because small things set me off. I've actually I've punched a container of chicken because it's one of those plastic clamshell things, and I just could not get the friggin' thing open, and chicken all over the place. And oh man, that is, I'm not, it's funny because it's so stupid. I am not proud of that. I'm glad I live alone. That is embarrassing behavior. Should not do that. But damn that chicken! That'll teach that package of chicken. Give me guff, will you? Clamshell packaging. So I made a joke out of it in the next stream. I staged where I was on a podcast or something. The arm of the chair falls off, and I get up, and I just haul off, and I punch the chair, and it falls over, and it go off camera, and you hear thump, thump, thump sounds. At which point everyone is all, oh my gosh, Andrew just lost his stuff. And then I push this chair on and say, so I bought a new chair. You know, it's like, Andrew got us. We thought he'd lost his temper and destroyed his furniture on camera. Nope. Not. Hang on. Gotta readjust the arm. There we go. Probably gonna have to replace this chair pretty soon because it's starting to. For Christ's sake. There we go. It's You can see that the seat is, starting to split there. So, still a comfy chair, still works, but kind of have to wear pants. Like, I wouldn't recommend sitting in this chair if you're wearing shorts. Also, what are you doing in my house? But I wear pants all the time, so it's not really that big a deal. So, Chicago remembers that. Thought it was hilarious. Oh, good. That's one example of a deliberate F-bomb, is the so effing fluffy bit from that reaction video. Yeah, that was intended. It's that contrast, that juxtaposition where I'm not reacting to eyeball surgery and a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare and the new Star Wars trailer, and suddenly Fluffy Kitten's so effing fluffy. It's like, so that's what he read. So, explaining the joke makes it funnier, you see. Now you can appreciate my humor even more. MX says, what episode was it again? Oh, man. When you replace the chair, break this one live. Oh, okay. I'll make a big deal about it. Just take an axe to it or something. Oh, maybe I can use my new... I bought a new knife. It's actually kind of neat. Because this knife comes with its own sheath. And what's neat about this... it's There we go. It's just for cooking. It's not anything fancy. But what's neat about this sheath is this little bit is a sharpener. If I can angle it towards the... So as you put it in and pull it out, it sharpens the knife, which is kind of a neat idea. Except I use this for almost all of my meals every day, so now it's like, oh man, I have to wash and dry, after every meal to use this. So, but it's a pretty neat idea. I don't know if that works well or not, but I just needed like a 5.5 inch knife, so and $10. It was either buy this for $10 or buy a knife set that I didn't need for $10. So, so I went with this one. What is it caught on? So you have to kind of pull it back this way. I think that's the idea. Is you put the force down this way, so you're sliding. So you're sliding like this to get rather than just pulling it straight out. So you're sliding it against the sharpener. So that's fun. Yeah, I enjoy... I wish I had the time for... sadly, as I've gotten more into real-life career stuff, which has worked out pretty well for me, especially in the last year. I hope this doesn't come off as bragging or make anyone feel bad, but I hope it just comes off as someone sharing something exciting, sharing his fortunateness and excitement. But I did something this last week that I have not been able to do in a long time. As many of you know, I got a new job last summer. And this year, just this last week, was the first time in, I'd have to check my statement, but I think it's like 7 years. The first time in 7 years, I was actually able to make a contribution to my IRA, my retirement account. So, I'm pretty tickled about that, because my statement has been a flat line for almost a decade. But I actually finally had, thanks to my new job, my salary is actually a bit ahead of my cost of living, which that's the first time that's happened. And I was actually able to contribute to my retirement, which is very cool. And I hope you're all as or more fortunate as I am. So I was pretty happy about that. It's the little things, But yeah, it's 2:40. You found it? Wow, well done. But the drawback, of course, to having a job that nets me a salary that allows me to make enough money to contribute to my retirement is I don't have as much time to work on extra stuff. I work back in 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, when I was doing more scripted videos. I was writing those at work because my job was essentially answering the phone, and I was working in technical support, and answer the phone, answer the emails. But if there's no one calling and there are no emails, I'm free to do whatever the hell I want. So during the quiet moments throughout the day, I'd plug away at YouTube scripts. I don't have that luxury today, so any script I want to write, I'm going to have to do it after work. And being that I'm working all day at work, I'm tired. That's like, all right, work is over, now I'll sit down and write. And sometimes I don't really want to do that. I am actually working on one right now for kind of a Trails from Zero video, which I hope to finish writing this week and record next weekend. So that should be week after, hopefully. But yeah, I like doing scripted videos. I just don't have the time to do it. and podcasts, live streams, things like that are still time consuming. I mean, even the Gem and the Holograms review is still a time consuming thing. I mean, if you're not in video production, it's like you just read a comic and then talk about it on camera. What's the big deal? Well, you know, I read the comic, then I have to set up my lighting and my sound and the camera, make sure the shot's fine, make sure the sound's recording, make sure all that's good. Then I record it. Then I usually record several in a row, but then I have to pull the information off the card, load it onto my computer, then I have to put it in my editor, then I have to put the sound in, which is recorded separately. I have to sync up the sound, and I have to edit everything, which you know, sometimes is just trim the front, trim the back, putting in the credits. It's not that big a deal, but I'm doing a little bit more with the Gem and the Hologram stuff. You know, I'm using the scans provided by Lindy to illustrate what I'm talking about, and then you have to render it, then you have to check it, then you have to upload it and check it again, and then you have to fight with a copyright claim. An invalid copyright claim because YouTube's Content ID system is broken and keeps misidentifying the public domain music I use. So it's not an insignificant amount of work. Anyone who is a content creator, particularly a video producer, you know, it's like, wow, this is actually a lot more work than you might think. Even live streaming, it takes a lot of prep. The Extra Life charity event, for example. We're 5 weeks out now from the Extra Life charity event. I've been working on it. I've spent several hours this weekend working on it, and I've been working on it off and on for the last month or so, and I'll be working on it pretty heavily for the next month. And you might think all you have to do is just turn on the camera and play games for a day. No, there's a lot of prep and planning and organization and coordination and things that go into these events. They're a ton of fun. I love doing them, but they are a lot of work. Chaos says, I have time for barely anything and unfortunately don't make enough to actually save money. I hear you. I've luckily I just moved past that, but I'm in a place where I'm actually able to save some money now. But yeah, I was there for all of my life, so yeah, I hear you. It's tough. Cafe Fox says, do you actually pause your video when you're doing a debut review to watch the thing before coming back, or do you do all that after you've already seen it? I actually pause the recording. That's an excellent question because it could be done either way. But with the with debut review, the format of which is it opens with me sitting on the couch or wherever, and I say, welcome to debut review. Today I'm going to watch this show, and here's what I know about it. Here are maybe my expectations. All right, see you on the flip side. And then there's a card that says, 22 minutes later if it's a half-hour show, or maybe it's, one of those hour-long Korean dramas or something like that. It's 55 minutes later, whatever. And then it cuts back to me and I say, okay, I just watched the show and here's what I think. It's exactly as it's presented. So I literally sit there, I do the intro, I stop the recording, I watch the show, and then I turn the camera back on and react to it. So the intro is indeed done prior to watching the show, and the review is, of course, done immediately following. And I mean immediately. For me, maybe not for you so much, but for me, one of the fun aspects of that particular show, debut review, is I'm still figuring out what I thought of the show as I'm talking about it. Because, if you watch a movie or something and you get to the credits are rolling and you kind of think about it on the drive home or that night as you're sleeping, and it takes you a little while to really consider the movie and say, what did I think of that? I mean, my initial reaction is I had a good time, but I have to kind of analyze why. Or at least I do. So for me, debut review is a great practice in being able to clearly articulate not just how I feel about any given piece of entertainment, but why I feel that way, which is not always an easy thing to do. It's a skill that takes practice. So, haven't done a debut review in a while. The Gremlins TV show was going to be the next one I do, but then I got into the Gem and the Holograms comic reviews, and so it's probably going to be a while till I get to that. So, let's see. Crow says, I only work in a grocery store, but if I get a long enough week, it barely leaves me enough time to, have a life. I know. In my previous employment, or previous employment, I was part of the off-hours rotation. So a lot of, so I'd finish work, and then I'd be on call until 6 a.m. the next morning. So, which means you can't do anything. I mean, you could go to the store, but you may have to leave real quick. You certainly can't go to, like, the movies or anything. So, yeah. Chicago says, money is so tight I can't afford to replace my PC. I built it back in 2012. Ow, yeah. Yeah, my PC died, in 2021? And it was thanks to my Patreons. They really helped subsidize my this one right here. So this box right here is partially Patreon funded. So thank you all kindly. In fact, the SD drive in the solid state drive rather in this tower died about 10 months ago, or 8 or 9 months ago, and that I hadn't backed up. I had like the next 5 episodes of Movie Mandates on that drive. I hadn't actually backed it up yet because I was still working on the raw files. So that was scary, and I used and it was because of my patrons that I was able to get a bunch of cloud storage, which was really expensive, but I was able to use my Patreon donations to subsidize that. So, and it's also why I can do a lot of really fun things for the Extra Life charity event, because I've got some extra monies to play with thanks to my patrons. So. Crow says, same dude, money in the, I'd say, lower level jobs like stores is just hard to make right now. Rough economy with them, just juice isn't squeezing sometimes. I hear you, yeah. So much everyday stuff is so expensive and wages don't help combat that, so it'll like leaving an early retail worker is just enough to barely still be broke. Yeah, it is rough. I was exceptionally fortunate to land the job at UC that I did, and it was it was a combination of, not to downplay my own accomplishments. I did work really. I taught myself JavaScript in like 6 weeks for to make myself a more attractive employment prospect. And so I don't want to dismiss my own efforts and accomplishments, but the truth of the matter is if my former supervisor at my previous job didn't work at this company, I would not have got this job. So it was a combination of my own skill sets, sure, and my own gumption and work ethic, sure, But it was also some damn luck. Because if Mike wasn't there to put in a good word for me, I never would have passed the recruiter. She said no, and he said, "Nah, take him off the no pile and give him an interview." And if he wasn't, so that's the sad thing. No matter who you are, no matter how accomplished you are, no matter how good you are, and you may be real good, sometimes a lot of it's luck. And it can be who you know and where they are, and it's just yeah. So again, not to downplay my own contributions, but if it weren't for Mike, I would not have this job and be in the position that I am. A position that allowed me to actually contribute to my own retirement, which is pretty great. Chaos says I used to work for GameStop, and it took about 8 years where I work now to start making more than I made at GameStop. Yeah. In my previous job, I worked there for 17 years, I think, at least at headquarters in California. And when I left, when I left last year, I had just gotten a raise that had finally pushed me past $50K a year. Which, for many, might sound like a dream salary. As much money as $50,000 a year sounds, it doesn't go that far in San Diego. I happen to live in one of the more... I mean, it's not New York, it's not San Francisco, but San Diego is... The cost of living here is pretty damn expensive, so... let's see. There have been so many people telling me that if I go to a fast food place, I'd make almost double an hour, but I don't think they're thinking through what they say. One, I have way too much self-respect to go into fast food, and it gets physical there, so I'm not trying to get arrested because someone tried to fight me. Yeah, it takes a certain type of person to do a service job, and I am definitely not that kind of person. I don't have the patience for it. I don't want to deal with customers. When I mentioned I was in technical support, I didn't deal with... I dealt with I was our technical support. I dealt with our employees. Our employees who were out in the field using our equipment, and, something goes wrong, they call us. It wasn't a general, I'm trying to turn on my computer and I don't see an image on the monitor. Did you plug it in? That kind of thing. Yeah, I don't want to talk to people. I'm terrible at it. I just don't. I couldn't do it either. Mad respect to those who can, though. That food service, any customer service job, that is hard. So kudos to anyone who can do that. You should probably be paid a lot more than you are, because that is hard. Also, be nice to service people, because their job sucks. And they're probably underpaid. So don't be that person that makes their lives even more miserable. Be nice to service people. Chaos says 50K would go reasonably far where I live. I grew up in Arizona, and I've been back several times. And it's funny driving through Arizona and looking at like gas prices or how much apartments cost to rent out there. And thinking, wow, if I made as much money as I do here in Arizona as I do in California, I'd be rich in Arizona. Yeah, right? And now this would have been probably 15 years ago, but I remember I was in Arizona and I was like, they were advertising apartments for like $400 a month. I'm like, holy shit. I'm paying at the time I was probably paying $1,200 or $1,300 a month. Now it's way more. Someone asked me, well, now that you got a new job and it seems to be paying you pretty well, are you gonna, get a bigger place? I said, oh, no. See, If I moved, I live in a one-bedroom apartment. If I moved out of this one-bedroom apartment and into another one-bedroom apartment of the same square footage, I would be paying $700 to $900 more than I'm paying now. So if I move into the same place, it's going to cost me nearly $1,000 more a month. So no, I'm staying here, thank you. It's expensive here, but it's not as expensive as it would be if I moved. Crow says, should I take that as a compliment? I work the front end of in a store, so I deal with bad workers sometimes and really rude customers sometimes. Yeah, if you have to interface with customers, you have a harder job than I do. So, yeah, definitely take that as a compliment. Cass says, holds true for GameStop employees. Job sucks, pay is lousy, hours are few and far between. And I'm sure a lot of your customers are really frustrating. So, what is crawling up my door? Why are you in my home? I'm just kidding. Hang on a second, I need to evict something. Come here. Come here. Come here. You know, you try and do the thing where you put your hand in front of a creepy crawly and hope it'll crawl onto your hand so you can just flick it out the door or something. And they're like, do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, a hand! Do-do-do-do. It's like, no. And you put your hand there. Nope. Do-do-do. It's like, dude, you're too small. I can't grab you. I'll destroy you if I try to actually pinch you and pick you up. It's not going to work. Crawl onto my hand. Or get out of my house. North Carolina? Yeah. Yeah. Cass says, I pay $600 for 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. I pay over $1,500, not including utilities, for this 1-bedroom. This same 1-bedroom, I've lived here for like 7 or 8 years, and my rent's gone up $220 since I've been here, and those actually more than that. No, it's gone up by about $300 since I've been here. 220 something in the last almost 2 years, so like 21 months or something like that. So it's going up. The 1-bedrooms in this apartment complex let for $2,200 to $2,400, which is about the average for a 1-bedroom, somewhere in the 650 to 800 square foot range. Yeah. So, 15 whatever a month, not including utilities. That sounds like a lot, and it is for a 1-bedroom, but if I moved out and back in, I'd be paying like $2,200 to $2,400. So I'm good. Kitchen's really small, but other than that, this is an obnoxiously terrible choice in paint color. makes shooting video in here suck because the lighting is just friggin' terrible. But other than that, it's fine. So cost of living, says Cass, in northern West Virginia is considerably lower than Southern California. Yeah. Cafe Fox says, pretty good. I'm grandfathered into something similar as I've been here for over a decade. Yeah. Alright, it's a little after 8, so I've just been I actually had topics, but I've just been kind of rambling, so not quite an Andrew's therapy session. We may have to do that in one of these weeks, but not tonight. But I do want to hit one thing before we leave. And that is, I finally beat Baten Kaitos. I've been playing that thing for almost 20 years. Finally beat it this week. And just been playing that sucker for forever. And I would occasionally just get stuck somewhere. In the last few years, I've been stuck on the same boss. But finally beat him last week. or the week before last, and played the end of the game and beat it, and we're done. So tomorrow on the Sunday stream, we're gonna play Baten Kaitos Origins, which is the follow-up to Baten Kaitos, but as the name might imply, is the prequel. Now, as you can probably tell from the overly shininess, this is still sealed. This is still factory sealed. It's still in shrink wrap. This has been sitting on my shelf since like 2005 or 2006 or something. And now, we're going to open it. There we go. New game smell. I still don't know what that's supposed to be. So, yeah, like the first one, it's 2 discs. And would you look at that? There's actually a manual. And, you know, it's not like a pamphlet. It's got pictures, it's full color. It has the fabled notes section in it that no one ever uses. And as big as this is, usually you see an instruction manual this long, you think, okay, that the first third is English, the second third is Spanish, and the last third is French. No, this whole thing's English. So I'm going to read the instructions. It's a ritual I miss. I miss buying a new game, opening it up, and reading the instructions before playing. I know a lot of people are just like, and they just play the game, but for me that was part of the ritual, is part of the fun, is reading the instructions. So I'm going to enjoy the instructions tonight, and then tomorrow for the Sunday stream, we'll play Baten Kaitos Origins, and then next Sunday we will start in on Trails to Azure. Chicago says, good for you. I remember you almost gave it. I did give up. I took it out of the Wii and I put it, or the GameCube. Well, I'm using my Wii as a GameCube. I'm like, okay, I can't beat this boss. Forget it. Screw it. I'm getting dealt bad hands. I can't do it. Took the game out, put it in the case, put the case back on the shelf, and harumphed. Then a couple hours later, I took it back off the shelf, put it back in, and it took me another 4 or 5 tries, but I finally beat. It's the second encounter with Geldablame, Fallon, and Amy, where you meet them in the Celestial Alps. You go into a cabin, and a cutscene plays. It's like a 5-minute cutscene. Geldablame shows up. I'm going to beat you up. It's like, oh, you 3 again. And you fight him, and if you beat him, you sit through a 10-minute cutscene, and then you have to fight him again. So, and that is, apparently online, yeah, that is a really hard fight for a lot of people, so I wasn't alone there. Jared, who's actually playing the game right now, it didn't get stuck for years like I did, but it did take him, I think he said, like 3 or 4 tries to get through it, so. One funny thing that happened at the end of Baten Kaitos, the final boss, so I fought the final boss, and I died. It took me, I think, 3 tries. So I fought the final boss, fought him again, and said, okay, I need to rethink my strategy here. So, it's a card battler, so you have cards, attack cards, defense cards, healing cards. You make a deck of cards, you deal out 5 cards, and then you play the cards that you're dealt, right? So I stripped everyone of all of their cards, picked the 3 people from my party. You have a party of 6, you can only have 3 in your active party. So I said, okay, I'm going to have Callus, Liud, and the guy with the oars, Gibraltar, Jabari, something like that. Jabari simply because he like Callus has cards that are both attack and defense, which is really convenient, and Liud because he's musical and he's really funny, and I like a lot of his attacks. Um, so I stripped everyone of all their cards, and I just got all my best cards and divided them among the actual active party. Um, and I fought the boss, beat the boss, and you go through the epilogue of the game, and surprise, end boss. And it's you and, what's her name? Shella. You two have to fight the guy. It's like, great. I stripped her of all her cards. She doesn't have any cards. She can't do anything. She has no cards. Well, so the final boss, which I don't think you can actually die to be fair, took quite a while to beat to death because Shella didn't have any cards. She wasn't packing at all. So, Jared, if you haven't beaten the game yet, make sure everyone has cards in their decks, particularly Callus and Shella. If you're not using Callus or Shella in your final battle active party, make sure they still have cards, because you'll need them. I don't know what you would do if you didn't have Callus or Shella, and if Callus and Shella both didn't use them in their final party, and neither of them had cards. Is that a soft lock? What would happen? I have no idea. But let's see. Crows has been playing a ton of Guilty Gear. There you go. I like watching fighting games. I'm really bad at playing them, but I do like checking them out every once in a while. I watch them. I love Smash Brothers, but I love it for the Nintendo and wider celebration of video games. I like Mortal Kombat's silly gore, but yeah, I don't really play fighting games. I do like them though. That was $60 worth of wrapping. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure a sealed copy of Baten Kaitos Origins probably I could get like maybe $60-$70 for on eBay or something, but I bought it 17 years ago to play, so we're gonna do that tomorrow. Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo. Hello, Joey. I haven't seen you around here in a while. Says, I loved reading instructions as a kid. Tutorials ruined that. Yeah, I mean, well, thank goodness the tutorials are there, whether they're done well or not, because there's no instruction manuals now. I actually have a game that I can't talk about yet because it's a Extra Life marathon surprise. But one of the things that came with the game is underwhelming, to say the least. It's something that they advertise as being included, a fun bonus. Also includes this thing! And then you look at the thing, it's like, oh man, that's the lamest I mean, it's not as bad as like what Bethesda pulled with Fallout 76. When they're like, this really fancy canvas duffel bag, and it ended up being this plastic crap. It's not that egregious, but it is. It's pretty crap. I mean, anyway. Oh, it's $150 sealed. I've seen it for $300 on eBay, Fleabay. Okay, well, that's that's fine. This is mine, and if you like Baten Kaitos Origins, check out these other great games. Odama. Odama was that. It's a real-time strategy pinball game. Imagine like Romance of the Three Kingdoms kind of era. You have attacking hordes of dudes, and you're smacking a giant pinball at them. So little dudes running around a pinball map, and you're smacking a big rolling boulder of death at them. One of the gimmicks of the really fun idea. One of the gimmicks of the game is it came out. It was an old GameCube game, and it came with a microphone. Maybe it was the same one that Hey You Pikachu used. I don't remember, but you could give your armies commands. Advance, retreat, left flank, right flank, something like that. I rented it from Blockbuster or something back in the day, and it did not work at all. Great idea. It's a really cool concept. But like, oh god, what is that PlayStation? I can never remember the name. I think it's Lifeline or something like that. Where you're a dude trapped in like a security booth on a space station, and you're helping a, I don't know, she was like a cocktail waitress or something like that, wander through the alien-infested space station, and so you have to tell her to go into the dining room, go into the hallway, shoot at the bug about to eat your face. You're like, go into the dining room. Leave the area? Okay. No! Come back, you dipstick! It's really a wonderful concept, but just didn't work at all. It was a nightmarishly frustrating play. Find someone who Let's Plays it on YouTube, because it's probably hilarious. They should probably try that game again with once voice recognition technology works. Yeah. Pick up the thing off the table. Leave the room? Okay. No! Where are you going? Come back! Susan! The other one they recommend is Chibi Robo, which I also recommend. I actually have that one. Chibi Robo is great. The follow-up game, I didn't play the Park Patrol one, which I think was exclusive to Walmart or something like that. But I did play, I think it was called Photo Finder or something. It was on the 3DS. I think I got it for free for some reason. It's really bad, which makes me sad, because Chibi Robo's awesome. I think I actually played Chibi Robo a bit during one of the charity events. So, anyway. Let's see, Cafe Fox says, good game, repetitive, but I learned a lot about rice. Sakuna Rice and Rune. That actually looks really good. The marketing was really good. It just has a nice visual aesthetic that I find appealing. Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo says, I remember being the CE for Sakuna Rice Rune and being jump scared by seeing an actual instruction booklet in there. I imagine. Crow's heading out. Got to work tomorrow. All right, take care. Thanks for dropping by, and thanks for the donation earlier. If anyone didn't see it, Crow dropped me a $5. And if anyone wants to drop me money, go over to drop it right there. Chaos recommends Sakuna. Okay, maybe I'll check it out at some point. But anyway, so we'll be playing Baten Kaitos Origins tomorrow. Looking forward to that, because it's been sitting on my shelf for almost 20 years. So yeah, until tomorrow, have yourselves a merry little Christmas. Have yourselves a good night, and hope to see y'all tomorrow for the Sunday stream. So take care, everyone. Bye-bye.